What is up, guys? Today we will have a comparison of the 5 different SD card or micro SD cards here, and actually it's different price range. Let's check them out, let's check how good they are and whether they comply with their characteristics. I've got here Kingston, the first one. It's called Kingston Canvas Go Plus for 226 gigabytes, class 3U. Alright, actually this card costs around $25 and it's called, the speed class is UHS2 or U3, how they call it. Class of the video is V30 and the recording speed is up to 90 megabits per second and the reading speed is 170 megabits per second. So that's how it looks like. The first one, $25. Let's move on. This Transcend here, also for 226 gigabytes, and actually the price is similar, although $25. And let's check for the characteristics. Also class U3 here, and more or less same characteristics as promised with the Kingston card. So let's check it out whether it will be same or worse or better. The next one we have the Samsung. For this 64 gigabyte card Evo, it's actually same price as for previous one, but for 64 gigabytes it's around $25. The reading speed here is around 160 megabits per second, and writing speed is up to 60 megabits per second. It's U1 class, so a bit smaller than those one. And let's move on with the next one. It's actually the cheapest one, and for 64 gigabytes here, although from Kingston, U1 class 10, how they call it, although the price of it is insane. It's only $5 here for 64 gigabytes, so it's the cheapest version for $5. And the speed is a bit less than 100 megabits per second for reading and around up to 50 for writing. And this thing is the most expensive one here, is Sony TUF, how they call it, M class U3 V60, and actually reading and writing speed is written here is 64 gigabytes SSD. As you see from this side how it looks like, doesn't look like regular SD card, even a bit thicker, and the price is around $100 for 64 gigabyte. So let's check it out whether it's compliant with its speed, and the speed is 277 megabits per second for writing, for reading, and for writing is 150 megabits per second, so it's the biggest out of all 5. And the price €100, so actually 120 25, 25, 25, and this is the cheapest one here, which is cost $5. So actually for testing I'm going to use the famous app. Let me just show it to you. Actually it's Crystal Disk Mark 8.0.6 x64 here, so actually it's most famous, most common app for testing the cards and the USB flash drives. And let's test it out. Let's start the testing now and I will be back to you with the results. Alright, actually the tests are done, and currently we can see in the first test here is a Kingston 64 gigabyte card, which is the cheapest one, around $5 here, U1 class here, and the speed is actually, you can check only the first 2 rows, 40 megabytes per second is reading, and let's say maximum is 18 megabytes for writing. That's the first one. Secondly, let's check the Samsung. So it's around $25 cost of it, and as you see it's much better here. It's 90 megabytes per second reading and 65 writing, which is quite well. Also class is U1. So as you see, it's actually much better than Kingston 64, but the price also much more expensive. Let's move on with Transcend here for 256 gigabytes, U3 class, V30, And actually it's very similar to the Samsung one. It's 67 megabyte per second is writing, and megabit per second, 93 megabit per second is reading. So actually quite similar to Samsung, a bit better. Let's move on with Kingston Canvas Go Plus, which is although $25, similar to Transcend here, and it shows us 93, actually very similar, even let's say equal to Transcend here for this characteristics, 93 for reading, and writing is faster for around 20%, is 88.5 megabit per second. So reading and writing almost equal. Of course, it's slower than it's indicated on the website, but it also depends on your card reader or the heating of the format that you use. So many parameters, let's say, it depends. So this is quite good results. And finally is the best card that I've got here is Sony TUF, that is for $100 for 64 gigabytes, and the reading is 271 megabits per second, and writing is around more than 100 megabit per second, 105, which is quite close to what they are up to. They indicating 277 for reading and 150 for writing. So reading is actually reached to 270, but writing is around 30% slower. It's also used reclass XC2 and V60. And actually, to sum up, you can check up to your own what card of preferred for what amount of money. I personally recommend the card that is Kingston Canvas Go Plus. It's basically worth its money. Depends on your what you want, like 226 or less or more. They have all the selection up to your preferences, and the price is really affordable and showing quite good results for reading and writing, quite similar. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Put the thumbs up and see you next time.